Hi, everyone, and welcome to the Wonderful World of Weddings. My name is Daniel Krikorian, and I'll be your host. The Wonderful World of Weddings is sponsored by Be Remembered, where you can make a wonderful wedding experience right here with us. Today, I'm going to be talking through what this podcast and radio show is all about and why we're on the air today. So today is Friday. We're going to be joining you every Friday right here on WCRN and on our podcast, so make sure to check it out. We devoted this entire podcast to helping couples create a wonderful wedding experience. Weddings can be a very difficult task for any couple in any location, and we're really trying to help just create an amazing moment. There is so much information online, and I really want to help you find the right people who you can trust as friends to try to create a wonderful wedding. And that's why we decided to name it that, and I'm going to be a little redundant here, but I really hope you join us each and every week. We're going to be going through what to do for your big day. We're going to be bringing on experts in the industry. I'm an expert myself. I've been through this wedding experience for, thousands of times. So I really hope I can help you, and if not, I'm going to bring on someone who can, and we're going to have some great conversations here. So please join us each Friday. And today I'm just going to get into a little bit of what the Wonderful Wedding Experience is and who am I, because you might want to know. So the Wonderful Wedding Experience, at Be Remembered, we've always strived to create a wonderful wedding experience, but we know how difficult that can be nowadays. We have so much information at our fingertips, but yet we don't know what information is good, and we can read a lot of reviews and a lot of horror stories, and it can be a lot to take in, especially as a couple who hopefully is only doing this once with the people you love, and you want that day to be amazing. So we're going to try to find a way to consolidate that information for you and for everyone else around you to make a great time, really. I mean, we're going to even talk about some of the upcoming trends, how to get great prices, where to go to look for them, what to look for, what to have and what not to have. One of the greatest things about this show and about what we can do here is because we're a radio show and a podcast, you can always reach out on our website. You can always go to berememberedweddings.com/podcast or go through WCRN and send us any type of questions at info@berememberedweddings.com. So the show is sponsored by Be Remembered, and I'm actually the owner of Be Remembered with our co-founder, James Toohey, and he's going to be on the show to talk a little bit about the photography and videography aspects is what he's working on right now, as well as the planning, but we'll also bring on head planners and the head of the planning department as well, who can really take you through how to make any wedding experience, because there are so many here. So Be Remembered, just to give you a little bit of a background on us, we are a full-service wedding company with all of our team in-house, along with our academy. And James is going to be able to come on and speak, and we're going to speak to some of our teammates. We do photography, videography, event planning, DJ, makeup, photo booth, and we'll be adding on even more services as the time goes on. But for right now, we're going to walk you through some of the things that we offer and hopefully show you how to work with any vendor. We really, we do offer it, and you're always welcome to reach out, talk to us, ask us questions about Be Remembered. We're happy to answer them. But really, we want to use this as an educational guide and a resource guide, because so many times I've been on the phone and most couples don't even know where to begin. And that's the tough part. Where do you begin with your wedding? And, you might have a wedding that you're planning in 6 months. You might have it in 24 months. And there are all these different ways. You might be trying to save cost and do a small wedding or do a whole production. In either way, we can help. We can even help you find or recommend vendors. We're going to be bringing on a lot of vendors from outside of Be Remembered, people that we work with that we love, people who do destination weddings, valuable resources to you, and have them just teach you and help you find those right resources and really just tell you what to look for. The first thing that I get from so many customers when they jump on the phone is, I don't even know what my timeline should look like. And that can be one of the most difficult things that can change so often. I'll tell you what we do to combat that, but I'll also tell you how to build out your schedule. And that's something that, being in the photography, so I'm a photographer myself, I'm a videographer. I've done almost every skill here. I've been there coordinating, mostly as an assistant. So there are definitely better people who can assist here. I've been the photo booth. I've actually DJ'd too, but that was kind of funny. I've actually been a makeup artist assistant too. So I really hope that I can gain some insight here and just guide you where to spend your money, how to budget your money. We'll have whole episodes on budgets and where to go for loans, credit cards, for weddings, etc. Maybe even what to save up for in terms of destinations if you're thinking about your honeymoon. So a lot of valuable information that can all start right here on the Wonderful Wedding, with our Wonderful Wedding experience on the Wonderful World of Weddings. Weddings, and I just want to share this with everyone as we begin. Weddings are amazing. They really do bring out the best in people. It can be a lot of work, and we absolutely understand that. But what I always try to remind customers too, and our couples, is really enjoy that day. And I hope that with these resources, you can enjoy that day more so and not have to worry about all the madness that can occur. We understand how important it is, and we understand why it's important. One of the things that I tell all my couples is, with all the craziness happening in the world, this is a wonderful place where you can come and know that there are great people and there's great experiences, and they can be right there for you, and we can help guide you to that experience. So that's what this entire show is about. And right now, I'm just going to give you a little history on myself. So I've been in production for quite some time now. I've done videos, promos. My business partner, James Tui, and I started Be Remembered as a way to help couples drive down the cost and get better quality. And that was really our goal from the couple side of things when we started Be Remembered. We both started in photo and video. Funniest thing is, he was going to be in photo and I was going to be in video, and we swapped, and now we do both constantly. And I think we have hundreds of weddings, if not thousands, underneath our belt. We worked right through, all the crazy times of COVID, doing smaller packages and building up Be Remembered. But as we started building this mission, we knew for a fact that we wanted to help the other side, the vendor side of the wedding industry, and really create a place where we could gather creatives and teach them how to, come into the industry on good terms, how to work with customers properly, and how to take care of their customers. Because what we saw a lot of was there was great individuals taking beautiful photos, but they weren't really creating a good experience for the couple. And so we created the Be Remembered Academy to allow individuals who didn't have the money to either go buy a $10,000 camera set, or even the know-how, or a $6,800 to $1,000 to $10,000 makeup kit, give them the ability to come in, learn through the academy, get certified. We built a whole textbook and course around these things, and then go out and take care of our couples, but actually go under the wing of a mentor, someone who really knew what they were doing, who was an expert in the field, and was taught how to use that camera, how to interact with those customers, because it's just so much more. As a couple, we know that you want to be taken care of, but we also know that you want an incredible, consistent experience, and that was what we were trying to do. So as James and I have continued building the business, in 2022 alone, we'll be doing just shy of 1,000 weddings. We'll be going through and offering photography, videography, DJ, makeup, planning, coordination, and photo booth, and some more coming right down the pipeline as well. And during that time, we've continued to drive home that experience and really create an amazing time. And, I think our reviews have reflected that, because we've worked so hard with our customers and our couples to really take care of them in any way that's needed. And that can be a difficult thing, because people need, so many different attributes on their day and have so many expectations. And so, one thing that we've really learned to do too is just being honest with couples, explaining the not restrictions, but the limitations of what they're looking for and how to get that in the most cost-effective way, which right now is more, prevalent than ever. So if we can help you in any way, especially going into that budget and finding incredible sources, that's what we're going to try to do. So I just want to, today we're going to walk through a few things and introduce you just to what we're doing, and we can kind of go from there. as I said, each week we'll be bringing on new people. Next week, I'm going to bring on Kristen, our head of planning, and she's going to walk through how to really set up your day and what to look for in contracts. The week after that, I'll actually be bringing on our wedding specialist, Kylie, who is going to kind of finish the booking process with you and walk through it all. And I think that's a really valuable thing. The booking process is the most stressful part. Of course, leading up to the day, making sure everything goes off properly is stressful in and of itself. But I think that having that understanding of what to look for in the booking process is going to be extremely important and something that I really want to work through with you, and hopefully we can. So stay tuned with us. We're going to be back in just a few minutes. We are going to have just a few things going on here, a few words from our sponsors, and we'll be back and can go right from there. All right, guys. Thanks. Hello, everyone, and welcome back to the wonderful world of weddings. I'm your host, Daniel Krikorian, and I thank you for joining us today. We are sponsored by Be Remembered, where you can have a wonderful wedding experience, as amazing as that is. So during the break, I decided that I needed some help here, and I brought on James Tuhey. It's Tuhey. James is my business partner.
It's a silent H.
It's a silent H. So James is my business partner. We've been doing this thing for quite some time now, and I figured you didn't want to just hear my lovely voice today, so I brought James in to give you a better understanding. I did talk briefly about who we are, so just real quick, Be Remembered is the full wedding experience from photography, videography, event planning, coordination, DJ, makeup, photo booth, and more coming soon. So everything is in-house. We have a lot going on right now, so we have a lot of departments. This will not be the last time you hear from James Tuhey.
Probably not.
No, you're going to have to get used to both of our voices. So we've been doing this for a while, and we wanted to just kind of talk about why we decided to do the podcast, what we're trying to do here. I think number one was our kind of resource guide. We really wanted to do that.
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of information out there and a lot of people that work in the wedding space, and it's a lot to navigate, and to have some sort of reliable resource to help you at least make some decisions, because there's so many to make.
Yeah.
And so any type of help is good help.
And I mean, in this information world too, people think, it's going to be easier. And it's like, yeah, it's going to be. But on the other regard,
you can get overwhelmed quickly.
Very overwhelmed in a space that's already emotional, already overwhelming. I mean, it's not a fun place.
Well, yeah, it's a big day. It's very important. It matters a lot. So you got to make good decisions. I mean, we've been to the New England Wedding Expo, and I was talking to different people who booked a photographer and then they backed out, or they were fake on social media. Yeah. And so they already put their deposit down and they lost some money, and they're arguing over getting their money back. So now they're just trying to find somebody to do photography. And it really is, really sad to hear that, when they could have just come to us and we could take care of them so easily. Yeah. And they wouldn't have to worry about a thing.
Yeah. And I mean, I talked about this too. There are great individuals out there who are photographers, videographers, coordinators. I mean, you worked with one this past weekend. You were on Nantucket.
The 2 past weekends in Nantucket, the photographers were amazing.
Yeah, so there are other people out there, and we're not going to discourage them. We actually really want to bring them on. We want you to know who they are. The thing is, when I pick up a phone and I hear from a couple how much trouble they're having, that's really why we built all of this, to be honest with you. We wanted to fix that. This is our attempt to really help you gain more insight. And look, I understand. I understand there's other podcasts. I understand there's probably other radio shows. There's a plethora of information out there. But again, it's like, what is the good information? And that's something that I think we're just trying to decipher.
Well, I guess also too, like, where's that information and the experience coming from? I mean, for us, at least, we can bring in so many different people who work in so many different avenues of that impact a wedding, and you can get the lowdown from them about either a specific service, your wedding overall, and what you're trying to do and what you need to do. Right. Or if you need help with, I don't know who to pick or how to pick a photographer. Well, let's answer a couple quick questions, and we can narrow down the choices.
And, one of the other things too, so just talking about, these phone calls that I get, and really just kind of building the premise of why this show got introduced, it's always, well, where do I even begin? Right? And I think we'll save the full in-depth conversation for Kristen and Kylie, because I think they're so good. So next week, we'll have Kristen on, and Kristen will really dive into. She's our head of planning. She's a great planner. She has a great reputation, especially on Cape Cod, where she really does. She did most of her work before coming to us, and she knows how to put couples on the right track. Yeah. Kylie, on the other hand, deals with couples she's a wedding specialist here. She deals with couples for every single service. She just knows what, they're in need of. And you and I, we come from two different positions. I am a wedding specialist as well. So I hear people's kind of gut reaction of like, hey, this is how I feel. This is what I'm looking for. You tend to dig into people once they're already like, okay, look, I got the basic information. Now I really want to know what video does. Now I really want to do what photo does, and like what that experience entails.
You usually handle a lot more advanced questions, setting expectations as far as how things kind of go from that point on. And one of the biggest things at least for video, because it's a newer thing that everyone's getting at weddings for the past couple of years, the expectations are not really been set. People have never worked with a videographer before. Whereas photography, you get someone for family portraits. I mean, even when in grade school, you get in front of a photographer, like when you take school pictures. So like your experience with a photographer through your life is in and out, but it's there. But with video, it might be the first time they've ever been on video.
Right.
Outside of a cell phone, So we have to, take a lot to set expectations, talk with the couple, have them realize there are some limitations still with certain technology and what it might take to get something, a certain look, certain audio or something like that.
Well, and then you compare it to your TikTok too, which is a pain in the butt, right? Because we're sitting here and we're like, okay, well, can you replicate this reel or this TikTok or this short? I'm like, yeah, we can. I mean, it doesn't fit your wedding. There was no beach in your wedding,
Right. Like we can do so much, and the biggest thing I like to say is like video doesn't lie. So we're gonna work with the parameters of which your day is taking place.
And I think too, just pulling off of that, there are so many things. It's great for couples. I love it when couples go online for any service and tell us, this is what I want, because it starts cueing us in. Now, sometimes we have to extract that. When you see coordination and you see a design and they say, this is what I want, it's like, okay, that's how you want your wedding set up. Like, we can replicate that.
There's at least some sort of guidance that allows us to work in a direction where if we're just working with like nothing, we don't want to disappoint. So we always want to try to accomplish what it is that you're thinking or feeling.
Right.
And to do that, we need to have those conversations. We need to make sure that if you do have any type of thoughts, that you let us know. It's not like you can't reach out to us. We always like to talk to people.
Right.
So I mean, it's
too much. We like to talk.
That's like most of our job is to talk.
Yeah.
So, so that's one of those things where like if you want some quick advice as a couple who's learning this whole process and what to do next and how to begin, is like, we'll start the conversation. Start a conversation with someone, whether it's your venue first, your photographer first, or whatever you think is the first thing you want to do. And Kristen can go into more detail about, your step-by-step is the most efficient that she's found. But start the conversation, have a conversation.
And I'll tell you, I mean, when I'm on the phone with most of these people, they're sitting there and they say, I have some questions. And I said, okay, well, let me just walk through your day first. And I walk through and I tell them, hey, this is where we're going to be. This is how we're going to set up. This is when I would plan to arrive based on these parameters and so forth and so on. And I think I'd love to go through all of those with our couples as you listen in, because that just tells me, and see, this is something that James and I really were bad at in the beginning and had to learn, is you have to have empathy. Like, this is going to be one moment that you're going to have for your entire life. You're only going to do it once, the majority of people. And so it's like, you just don't know. You don't know what cameras we're using. You don't know what we're going to do. And I get that. And that's fair.
They're not going to be subject matter experts on this technical stuff for sure.
Nor should you be. So I think what we really want to do here is instead give you the cues to pay attention where you need to, and not pay attention where you don't, but just understand that there are some things that aren't worth the time. It's really about budget and time allocation, right? Because it's like, where should I put my budget? Where should I put my time? There are some things that you really need to drill down on and make sure that you're not going to get, screwed in some circumstances on. And then there are some other things where it's just like, no, trust me, like that's not a big deal. Like raw footage for video. People, I really want the raw footage. No, trust me, you don't. Like
the best example, somebody I read somewhere, they explained what raw footage is to somebody. It was so clean and so digestible for people. Mm-hmm. And it was, when you go to a fancy restaurant, do you want to go in the back and get all the scraps that the chef used, or do you want just the nice dish that was served to you?
Right.
And that's essentially what edited photos and an edited video is the nice dish that looks really nice to look at and everything. Mm-hmm. And you don't want all the scraps.
Yeah, there's the onion that's unpeeled in the back and the sides cut off and the, the stems. And it's just like, it's adjusting.
There's certain
I never heard that
shots or pictures where we're testing out something, testing out a movement, or it just didn't look right, or it was something that just should never be in a video to begin with.
Yeah. And I've heard the argument too. I was like, well, if you were good, I'm like, no, that's not how that works. I've done photo for so long. I go and I take a picture, and trust me, that light and the way the flash is bouncing off the ceiling. I mean, I was in a room that had 3 different levels of ceiling, and then by the end of it, it had a slanted roof all exposed in like brown old wood. I got no bounce except for either away from the camera and away from the subject. I mean, It was all over the place. And so I had to literally set up different flashes for, in different settings throughout the room.
And just play around with it.
And I have to take some photos. And so they're going to have some black photos and their raw photos. And there's nothing wrong with that, because I'll tell you, when I got that third shot that was perfect, you saw it and you went, whoa. And
there's no need to see the other stuff.
No, it's like, you can have it. One of the big things too that I'd love to dive in when we go into video is just size of files, even for photo. It's a really interesting matter that I don't think people realize when they're getting delivery right now. And that's something that I would just, we can definitely talk about. So James will be back with us. We'll
get way more into video and photography.
Yep. We're coming up on a quick break here in just a minute or so. But in the meantime, James and I, when we come back, we'll get into how we got into this whole thing, into this whole mess. I gave you a brief overview, but it started in a little basement. Yeah.
Yeah. And traveling around the country in a
how about 4 states in a day for a wedding. So during the pandemic, that was a whole lot of fun.
It was a marathon, basically.
Yes. The pandemic was, quite the time, but it was actually great though, because we saw love in its truly raw form, and I think it really inspired us to get into this industry.
Yeah,
make something.
Well, people who want it really bad will get married, and they will find a way. Fun. They'll have a party, and they'll have a good time.
Yeah, they will certainly find a way. That's for sure. So when we come back, we will let you know. This is the Wonderful World of Weddings, and my name is Daniel. This is James with me, and we'll be right back. Thanks, guys. Hey everyone, and welcome back to the Wonderful World of Weddings. I'm here with James Toohey. My name is Daniel Krikorian. This is sponsored by Be Remembered, where you can have a wonderful wedding experience by booking with us today for photography, videography, event planning, DJ, coordination, makeup, photo booth, and more. Please go to our website at www.berememberedweddings.com. This has been sponsored by that. We're from Be Remembered, and we're here to bring you some valuable resources on your wedding day and everything leading up. However, for all of you listening out there, we do want to tell a quick story of how this whole shenanigans got started. James and I may not look like your profiled wedding people, we can say, but somehow we got ourselves in here, and actually have been making a pretty good run out of it,
I like to think we do pretty good.
Yeah, I think so too, but no. So this year alone, Be Remembered has done just shy of 1,000 weddings. We have really tried to create a very high quality and consistent service for each and every couple.
That's something that's achievable for everyone.
Yes, exactly, at a much better cost and price. So that, and then the other side of this that we actually talked about a little bit on the last segment was just the idea of, helping passionate young creatives get into the space, get the training they need, and couples deserve. That was a big thing.
Mm-hmm.
And so James has been putting a lot of hard work into the Be Remembered Academy, which has been debuting and will be fully launching this winter. So that's been huge for our certified wedding professionals that every couple will have. And, they are using our own equipment. We'll get into the little backstory of that one day. They're using everything. They're in-house. But truth be told, this all started in a basement. Yes, and shout out to Tyree and Nick, who started this with us, who are no longer with us. Two great guys, but pretty funny because, this has been a quick process.
And sure does come with growing pains for sure.
Yes, but the funniest thing of all is really the fact that we found something. We're in this basement. I'll tell you a quick overview, but we're in this basement, and we were doing a lot of production work, a lot of small promos, small business commercials, etc. Trying to get our hands on anything, staying in the local community, and really seeing what we can do there. We then expanded into documentaries, shorts, etc., and shows, but we saw that there was an opening in the wedding market because people were not taking care of their couples the way that we saw it should be done. And maybe there was some arrogance there, but I think, truth be told, the way we saw it was, this is the biggest day of their life. You're spending one of the largest sums on your wedding that you'll ever spend in your life outside of a car and
or a house,
right? And so this is number 3 here. And to see things like great photos, and no offense to any photographers, but great photos and bad quality of service, not a great person, was very rude to us. That didn't sit well with me. And I think my family has always, my father in particular, has owned his own business, small auto body shop, and had to treat customers right, took care of his customers, was known to be pretty aggressive, but took care of his customers. Aggressive with the insurance companies. But, I think that kind of stuck with me, and I saw that customer, they were in a really emotional state. When you get in a car crash, not only the nerves of it, but now the fact that thing...
It's a hassle.
Yeah.
You got to move your whole life around to try to get your car to a mechanic, and
you spend so much on the car.
It's expensive, too.
Yeah, that car, was saving. You saved up, you worked hard, all of these things, and now, in the blink of an eye, it's destroyed. And so, seeing that, and not seeing it in an industry where you pay just as much, if not more, and then seeing the lack of knowledge there too. When you go to a mechanic, and I know people probably have horror stories there too, but when you go there, you say, hey, I want my car back looking like it originally did. And when you see it look like it originally did, you say, it was fixed, and the service is over, and everything goes back to normal. And you've had a slight inconvenience, but it's done.
Yeah.
Here, you have information overload. You have no understanding of the real resources here. You do your best to understand them, but then you have to work overtime in an already emotional state because you're about to marry the person you love. And that's a tough one. And so we both kind of agreed that something's got to give. Someone has to be done.
Yeah. Well, I guess the biggest thing is that the fact that, we could get into weddings, never not doing them before, but have done other different short films and documentaries and other commercial type stuff, really led to believe that there is no standard. There's no certification or anything like that will just say, I'm qualified to do this. Basically, anyone can kind of get in this, which is good and bad. It's good for people who want to try to get into this, but bad because, I feel kind of bad for some of the people that first hired us when I first did my first wedding video, when I wasn't really comfortable doing weddings. I mean, the videos I do now, it's only been 2 years. is significantly better than that.
But it's funny because we knew we were onto something when videos didn't have the same standard that we're hoping to really push now. But we did those videos, and they called us crying, saying that this is the most beautiful thing they've ever seen, and that we treated them so well. And I kept hearing,
even though we didn't think we were, like, if you compared our videos and our photos to like other people who were, I guess you would say, the experts, there was a significant difference, but they were just having a good time. They had a good experience.
Yeah. Well, and it's funny, though, because they weren't as off the mark. We look at things with a very keen eye, and I think that that's another thing to bring up. And it's like, what are you looking for in your wedding video? And that's a really tough thing. Are you looking to be a supermodel, and a star in Hollywood, or are you looking to have your day captured? Because those two things, and we fought on this a little bit too as we grew. It's like those are two very different things, and so, and they're captured differently, they're established differently. You just take a different approach, and a lot of the time, people, I'd say it's 90% of the time, people don't even want the Hollywood view. They just want things captured. Because they do not want to miss a moment when they go back and watch, and they want to see Uncle Tom fall off the chair. They want to see him drunk falling at night, and they want to laugh, and they want to hear the speech that their dad gave that told them they were their princess, and so I get it. I do. And it takes this many weddings to sit there and say, look, take your ego out of it, because there's so much more to this than just this beautiful film.
Right.
And so, like you said, we'll get back to it real quick, but we were pretty funny. We were driving, and then COVID came, and COVID reset the bar because everything was 1 hour, 2 hour minimums. And again,
it's basically elopements.
And again, we saw the need, which bothered me, because you have these couples and they want to get married. They just want to do it. I mean, the world is crazy. There's a pandemic happening, and they say, I want to get married. I want to.
They didn't care. They wanted to get married.
And they'd like, we'll do it outside. We'll follow all the proper restrictions, whatever have you, but we want to do it. And so you had a lot of these people who are trying to find photographers, videographers, and none of them are available. They're all taking unemployment, and they're all sitting there saying, I want my 6 and my 8 hours.
Retired.
Or they retired because they said, enough with this, I'm done.
Yep.
And so here are James and I, and we're sitting there like, well, we'll do it. We're sitting on our hands, so not allowing us to do anything. Like, I'm more than happy to take a camera, go out into the world and do this. And so we started, and, again, we knew we had something when people said, thank you so much for the experience, and you guys were so nice to us. You treated us properly. You created great video, great photos, etc. I remember my first one was actually this couple who, she was pregnant, and they were going to announce the same day of their wedding, and it was this wonderful thing. They had the bottle of champagne, and they had inside, actually on all the wine bottles, it said the baby's name on it, and no one actually saw it, which was great. And so they made an announcement after they got married. I'm taking all their photos. We did all the family. She was having a little bit of a rough time. It was a very hot day, overhead sun, and I remember being like, guys, like, what should I be paying attention to? And they're just like, we have a surprise. Can you keep it a secret? I'm like, yeah, I can keep it a secret. And like, well, she's pregnant. And I was like, oh, damn. Okay. What do we do? And he was like, we got to make this announcement. Can you take all the photos? I'm like, yeah, absolutely. And so like, we were just having a blast with it, and they announced it, and everyone was just going crazy. Actually, they announced it in this big photo of everyone, which was just a blast. And so, and then we came from here, and we started building into a little 800 square foot office in Marlboro.
Yep.
And that was a lot of fun. And we started really building the organization and how we wanted to really help both sides, everything from the couple to the creative. And we've continued growing that. And now we're here.
Yeah, now we're in a 3,000 square foot office. We got a room that's a studio now. We can do podcasts and
so we will
other different things. And so it's kind of crazy the fact that we can, you find some sort of ingredient that really works, that people really like. And that's one of those biggest things where, working with other photographers and stuff like that is being a pleasure to work with, is going to get you there.
Yeah.
More
than being
than
human.
Yeah.
You know? But all right, guys, we're going to take a quick break. We'll be right back, and we're going to tell you our favorite wedding stories, and hopefully you'll share some with us. So we'll be back in just a minute after these ads. Thanks, guys. Hey, everyone. We're back here at the wonderful World of Weddings with James Toohey.
Yeah.
All right, that guy. And my name's Daniel Krikorian. We're going to get into some wedding stories right now. Before that, I just want to let you know that we are brought to you by Be Remembered, where you can have a wonderful wedding experience. Be Remembered does offer photography, videography, event planning, DJ, coordination, makeup, as James counts them all on his fingers, and he can only go up to 5.
I can't count past 5.
Please visit us at www.berememberedweddings.com. We are all in-house. What are you laughing at?
I see Sophie crying over there.
Yeah, so we have some guests
shaking
here
her
in the
head.
studio. That's okay. It's a live studio audience. No, it's not. It's all right. But anyways, so we're going to go ahead and just tell some funny stories here. James and I have been doing this for quite some time. We did get a little bit into the background. We'll uncover more and more as we go here. But right now, we're just going to end, or this fourth segment, we're going to end the show with a funny bit here because we love to tell stories. We have a lot of them, and we'd love to hear your stories. So if you want to go ahead and send us your love story, something sweet, we like sweet. We also like a little sour, some
funny moments.
Some funny moments here. People tripping down the aisle. Obviously, we do not encourage it. We don't want it to happen.
We just want to make sure we record it.
Yes.
We just want to document.
Or the cousin in the back row records it and sends it into us, and maybe we have some fun as long as you're okay with it. The best Instagram we ever posted, the best reel we ever posted was the bride and groom standing there for a photo, and everyone went and tackled them. And one guy...
They tackled the groom.
Yeah, one guy actually tackled the groom and took him out. So...
he now has a contract with the Chicago Bears.
Yes. Do they take old 40-year-old white guys with bald heads?
I don't know, but he might be a linebacker coach now.
Be.
That was textbook form.
It was very nice.
Clean tackle.
Very, very nice. So we'll just, please go on to our Instagram. Follow us at b.rememberedweddings. Look at that little plug. That was just beautiful, huh?
Yeah.
Getting good at this. First day in, fourth segment, we're good to go. But no, so we're going to go ahead and just talk a little bit about our favorite stories. Why not Nantucket? Because Nantucket has been a ride this year, a very, very funny one. Yes. So we've done quite a bit on Nantucket, and we're heading back there next year for even more.
Yep.
But this year, so the greatest story is the girlfriend and I said, hey, I'm going to go over to Nantucket to film a wedding. And she said, wonderful. Why don't we stay over for a night? And I said, sure, let's do this thing. So I've never been to Nantucket before in my life. I said, let's go. Let's have a good time. Let's go walk around. It's like Martha's Vineyard, right? Because I'm from New England. Why not? It's like Cape Cod, right? She's like, sure, we'll go with that. Okay, fair enough. So I go over there, and don't worry, James gets pulled into this great story. So I go over there. I rent a nice room for the night, which was astronomically priced and dumb. But I said, hey, we're going to do this once, and this is going to be fun. So we go over there, and we walk up these stairs that I barely fit up. And I mean, I truly barely fit up them. And we go up into what looks like a closet. But oh, no. That was our bedroom. And when I moved, I hit every wall as I walked. And the sink was at the end of the bed. And I was very confused. And the little air conditioning unit didn't actually cool the room down, even though the room was maybe 150 square feet.
Yes, because this was back in like the first week of August, right?
That's correct. And it was very hot.
Yep.
And the greatest thing of all was when I went into the bathroom that the door didn't open all the way because it hit the bed. And on the right side, you had a lovely toilet. And on the left side, you had a shower that I didn't fit in. So on a very hot day, as I got home from a wedding at 11 o'clock at night and went out to eat and then go back, I rolled over on my bed and hit my arm on the wall. So the girlfriend and I, oh boy, we're both laughing at this point. We're like, hey, we're going to do this. This is going to be a great time. We're just going to have some fun.
We're already here.
Let's do this, right? And I'm very, very picky about the room, but I just decided we're going to have a fun time, and this is going to be hilarious, and we're going to go from there. Meanwhile, too, the funniest thing is the website online that I looked at her and I was like, I must have done something wrong because I booked it. So she's looking at me like, you're the idiot. And I was like, no. Like, I must have done something wrong. And I go reading the fine print. It says 157 square feet. I was like,
yeah, they don't advertise the square footage very much.
and I'm pretty sure they put a child's bed in the room to make it look bigger because it was not. Like, the pictures looked massive. And here I am in this room. That's the size of the desk I'm standing on in front of me. Or sitting at. And so, well, I had to book the other trips to Martha's Vineyard. I'm sorry, Nantucket.
Nantucket, yeah.
Where James had to stay twice.
2 back-to-back weekends.
And I thought to myself, well, there's no way this bastard isn't going to experience this either. So I went and booked him a 167 square foot room too. Why don't you tell everyone about that experience?
The twin beds.
With your girlfriend.
Yes.
I'm sorry, your fiance.
Yes. Well, first of all,
Twin beds.
I can't get up the stairs without basically gouging the walls with tripods and a light stand and everything. So that was fun, trying to slowly creep up the stairs, not to damage a historic building. But then you get up there and the door doesn't fully close. It's got like one of those like little latch locks or whatever. Mm-hmm. And that's how you lock it. We walk in, there's a sink. There's no bathroom in this room, but it has a sink.
And it has 2 beds.
And it has 2 twin size beds.
I feel like I'm an overprotective parent.
Which I'm 6'2". I don't really fit in a twin size bed. I haven't fit in a twin size bed since I was like in like middle school.
I just picture Elf, the movie Elf.
Basically, yes. Yeah, no, that's an accurate representation.
That's how I felt in the shower when I was doing it. I was like, please give me water. Give me water.
Well, funny thing about the showers at this place was it was, I guess, just short of being power washed. And so it like the angles of the spray were like at all different angles because it's like old.
Nice.
And so
wasn't it a group shower too?
No,
I thought that's what Aaron.
It was a shared bathroom.
Oh, it was a shared bathroom.
Yeah. So you had to wait your turn. I think group showers is something they did in the 70s, like the locker room.
Yeah.
But
right.
They so you're just getting pelted basically by little streams of power washer powered like water, and it hurt.
Yeah, and so you're like, I'm hurt physically, emotionally. I'm hurt. You hurt me.
But
I think Erin was a little pissed at me on that one, wasn't she?
Yeah. Well, I mean, she was. It was just the fact that the room was. Well, she just hated the fact that there were twin size beds, but
Yep.
But other than that, like that's
all right. I got one single bed. One.
Yeah. With no room to walk around.
Well, my feet hit the wall with the bed off the side. I was like, it was in the wall. Pretty sure someone, if they opened the bathroom door, it would have hit me. My feet. Just totally taking me out. It was a good time.
Yeah, I don't there's something about Nantucket and it being like I'm about 2 sizes smaller than the rest of the country.
Well, it's so funny. We heard like a knock in the middle of the night and like Elise wakes up. I just looked at her. I was like, don't worry. Someone just hit their hand on the side of the bed.
Somebody else can't fit in that room either.
Oh my God. And I love too. We went downstairs. Super nice guy who ran it and the woman who did too. And he was talking and he's like, he had some accent that I'm not even going to try, but it was like a Swedish accent. He's like, no, I'm not going to do it. It's terrible. But he just looks at me. He's like, how was your stay? And I was like, you're joking, right? Like,
is that a real question?
He's like, would you like a drink? And I was like,
well, what type of drink?
Yeah, I was like, it's too early for that, and I have to catch a ferry back, and I got to work. But no, but what was that? Like, what did I just stay in? And the greatest thing is we went there on a Wednesday, right? I think that one was on a Wednesday.
Yeah, we were in the middle of the week.
Yeah, so I still had to pay. I mean, thankfully we didn't have to do a 3-room minimum, but it was so expensive. And for that's the funniest thing. I've stayed in palaces for the same price I stayed in that 157 square foot room.
Well, I mean, there's the difference too. Like the first weekend I was in Nantucket, in October, I was a king size bed, plenty of room, but it was in Nantucket Inn. Right across the street from the airport, which people who don't know Nantucket, as I learned, it is literally
don't worry,
20 minutes. Yeah, I'm from Boston.
Yeah.
Don't know anything about Nantucket. We are 20-minute drive from the actual downtown area
On an
where all
island
the
that does
weddings
not have
are.
a lot of cars.
No cars. You think you can attempt the walk, but you don't want to because it'll take you forever.
Yep.
But great room, but I had to Uber around everywhere, which is not fun either. So
I feel like if I had my wedding on Nantucket, I would definitely put everyone up in those tiny rooms, but I would never hear the end of it from my family. They would be like, "You son of a bitch. What were you thinking?" My dad wouldn't even fit up the stairs. It'd be great. But anyways, all right. So everyone, we really do appreciate it. We hope that you enjoyed this entire podcast and radio show on WCRN. The Wonderful World of Weddings will be back each and every Friday. We will be joined with different guests. We will be bringing on experts in the field, not only from our company, but from companies and contractors from around the industry. We want you to understand where to go for these resources, how to do it, what to do, what to look for, etc.
And as we go, we'll keep uncovering a little bit more about who we are, how we got here, what we plan to do, stuff like that, and talk to other different vendors and stuff like that to, help support the people we do like to work with.
Yeah. One of the things that I'm going to tell you right now, if you have a great story, I know I said this in the beginning, we always want to hear it. Make sure you're tagging us. Go on Instagram. You can DM us with your story. You can at b.rememberedweddings on Instagram, Facebook, everywhere. But you can also go to our website, berememberedweddings.com, or you can message us info@berememberedweddings.com. You can email us with your story. Anything that you really want to let us know about, we'd love to have you on. We're even happy to do some questions and do some Q&A too on each show. So please go ahead, follow us, join in every Friday, and really be a part of this too. We want to help you with your wedding experience, or we want to help others with your wedding experience by letting them know what to look for and how to do it. But guys, that has been a wrap. I'm Daniel Krikorian. I'll be your host each and every week. This has been the co-founder of Be Remembered, James Toohey, with me. He has been just giving us a little bit of a lowdown here, and we'll be back on for our photography and videography segments, along with some of our academy segments too, talking about future creatives. And we'll bounce a little bit between the couple side, the creative side, and how to make a great or a wonderful wedding experience.
Very wonderful wedding experience.
I like that. Right there for you guys. Have a great night. Take care.